Welcome to Conversations with Candidates. I'm Bridget Turcotte, a reporter for the Daily Item. Our guest today is Michael Ouk, candidate for the school committee. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, how are you?
Pretty well. Actually recovering from being a little bit sick the past week.
Well, do you want to start by telling us a little bit about your background?
Sure. I've been living in Lynn for over 21 years. My family moved here when I was 10 years old, so I was able to finish 5th grade at Brickett Elementary School, then went on to Marshall, graduated from English in 2002, and I moved back after graduating college to be my grandmother's primary caregiver until she passed away in 2013. But since then, I've been getting more involved in local community activism and community organizing. So this is the next step towards being more deeply involved in community and civic engagement in the city.
Okay. And now what do you do for work?
Currently work as an enrollment coordinator at Element Care, which is based here in Lynn and provides medical care for low-income, clinically frail seniors, 55 and older.
Okay. Now, do you have any affiliations with any local organizations or?
I'm sometimes called in to advise different groups, but the only official affiliation that I have is with the Khmer Cultural Planning Committee.
Okay.
We host the Khmer New Year celebration every April on the Lynn Commons, and it's the largest community cultural fair in the city.
So what are some of your accomplishments?
We first did that Khmer New Year Community Fair in 2011.
Okay.
And before that, we had done smaller events at the local temple, a couple of times at North Shore Community College and at Lynn Tech. But doing it on the Lynn Commons brought thousands of people, not just from Lynn, but also from Lowell, Revere, and surrounding cities and towns. So that was a pretty large endeavor. We had to pull in support from different departments in the city. We hired police officers and workers from the DPW to make sure that all our bases were covered for the event. And that was an accomplishment as just a community organizer, yet to be elected. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to accomplish much more as a member of the school committee.
Okay. So what do you think are some of the biggest issues facing the city and the school system?
Well, I think there are a few ideas that all of us, all of the candidates would like to do, would like to implement for the schools. But it always comes down to whether we want to institute more athletic programs or academic programs, after-school programs. It all comes down to how we can pay for all of these different things. And I think you guys have run articles over the summer and from last spring about the net school spending.
Mm-hmm.
For fiscal year 15, we met 100% of the foundation budget, but only about 92% of the net school spending. And there are reasons for that. There's only a small amount of money to go around for all of the needs in the city, including public safety, infrastructure, and education. So the mayor has only so much that she can work with. But most of our funding for public education comes from the state in the form of Chapter 70. And that formula was created under the Education Reform Act of '93. And it's had a few different small updates throughout the years, but it hasn't had a comprehensive review since it was first enacted, which was over 2 decades ago. Until this year, this fiscal year, the state legislature created the Foundation Budget Review Commission. So they'll be coming out with a comprehensive report in the beginning of November, listing all of the areas where state funding for K-12 public education could be better. And based on their preliminary findings for fiscal year 2014, they found that there may have potentially have been $500 million gap between what cities and towns needed to fund K-12 public education and what the state actually gave us. And so that $500 million would mostly go to cities and towns that have a higher proportion of low-income families, cities like Lynn. And so Lynn, Lawrence, Lowell, and other cities that are diverse and face the same challenges that we do would stand to benefit most from having a more comprehensive review of the school budget formula. Okay. So that's a long answer.
So, of all the issues that you mentioned, what would be your plan to address them?
Well, I think as a member of the school committee, I would be representative of the people that put me in office, of all the residents of Lynn. Mm-hmm. But that advocacy, that representation doesn't end at our city boundaries. A lot of the advocacy that could happen to benefit the city would be for our elected officials to reach out to our state legislatures and to our delegation to Congress to fight for more funding for public education. Like I mentioned earlier, because public education is mostly funded by Chapter 70 from the state, I would want to maintain open lines of communication with our state reps and senators and folks at the governor's office to make sure that they're as aware as they can be about the needs that Lynn has, our need for improving our education infrastructure. And that means new school buildings, new classroom technologies, our need to hire more bilingual social workers, our need to be able to account for our larger proportion of low-income families, students that might come to school hungry or not have all of the necessary materials they need to learn. So what I want to do is, especially after the Foundation Budget Review Commission comes out with their comprehensive report, use that as ammunition to lobby our state legislature for more funding for Lynn.
Okay. And why do you feel like somebody should vote for you?
Well, I'm a Lynner through and through. I'm a first-generation Cambodian American, and just from meeting people throughout the campaign, I've met a lot of folks who are first, second, or sometimes third-generation immigrants, and there are a lot of similarities there between immigrant communities. And the Cambodian community, we have a high appreciation for our elders. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the folks that I've talked with have reminisced about the way that their neighborhoods used to be, how they felt safe leaving their doors unlocked, or how adults in the neighborhood would look out for each other's kids. And the way to bring it back to something similar to that is to acknowledge acknowledge the cultural values of our newer residents and help incorporate them into the whole democratic process and help them to become more involved in their children's education in schools. So I think I have demonstrated ability to do that, to bring folks from different cultures and different backgrounds together, to work together towards a common vision for their neighborhoods or for the city. So I'm hoping to bring those communication and organization skills to the school committee as well.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
This has been a conversation with Michael Ouk, candidate for the school committee. I'm Bridget Turcotte, a reporter for the Daily Item. For more election coverage, read the Daily Item and itemlive.com.